Hello everybody, welcome back to Going Umbral. So, as you may notice, we are not in our orbiter anymore. We are here in the simulacrum. That is because behind the scenes I've updated some of the Umbral builds. Not all of them, just a few. A few that I revisited, found that they were a bit clunky to play, so I updated their builds, and here we are showing them off to you. First of all, we have our lovely lady Saren. Okay, the game took a long time to process that. So, what has changed with Saren? Oh. Well, as you may know, as I'm mentioned before in the Biggs' arsenal, Saren is no longer using the Appendium Venin, which, prior to her getting the Legion, was her custom saw. We are now using the Legion. The build has not changed from the Biggs' arsenal. There it is. But why not change it? Well, the Legion works very well with Saren. Let's just get some energy here. Let's get some 120s. Just for shenanigans. Let's just pause the AI. Let's spawn them in. So the Legion, for people who don't know, has a passive ability that when it procs a status, it gets 10% attack speed and guaranteed toxin on the weapon for about 7 seconds. Now the poison proc, from what I've researched, can be washed into elements. However, upon further testing of the Legion, I've noticed that I'm getting more consistent toxin procs and less of the element that I choose. So I don't think that's entirely true. Let's just show you the power of the Legion and Saren. So you see we have spores here, Toxic Clash. Look at that damage. Absolutely mowed through them. Now, in case you blinked and missed that, let's get, you know what, let's get 6. There we go. Get 6 of these. Stock up on energy. Yeah. As you can see, the Legion, a very, very potent weapon in Saren's hands. Absolutely shredded through level 120s. But that does it for Saren. As you can see, the Legion, very mandatory. If you're like me and you like running Saren, do yourself a favour, pick up the Legion. You will not regret it. It looks ugly as sin, with its base skin I mean. So, if you're not keen on the aesthetic of the Legion, there's a lot of 10 gen skins that can actually fix that. The one I'm using is the Polarm 4C skin. I probably butchered that name, but basically the Aquaman Trident. We have the Aphira, the Polarm Diva, and the Lympharis. And if you own Nova Deluxe, you can use the Rahashi Polarm skin. So there's a lot of skins to fix the aesthetic of the Legion. Right, next Umbral build changed is Atlas. Prior to Atlas was using the Prisma Obex. Now, for those who are familiar with Landslide and Atlas in general, Landslide works off gains damage from your melee weapon. So, I figured, why not use the Furex Wraith? I don't know why I have blood rush in here. Hold on. Technical difficulties. There we go. So as you can see, all this modded damage will be going into our landslide. And if you have a rhythm for the Furex, as you can see, the rhythm disposition of 5 out of 5 will make it an absolute powerhouse. Especially if you can get damage and elements. Excuse me, I still got a bit of a cold. But Atlas's mod setup is still the same. The only thing I've changed about Atlas, much like with Saren, is the Furex Wraith. Right, let's simulate these guys, see how Atlas can perform. As you see, build's still very efficient. You can spam landslide for quite a while. The thing is about high level targets is eventually you will be able to whittle them down with landslide, but you want a means to actually strip their armor. Where the armor value is so high on corrupted enemies, especially at level 120s, you really want items that can strip their armor, like a Pox, an Ignis Wraith, an Atomos, built for corrosive. These are the kind of weapons that Atlas needs to strip armor. Right, Banshee. The build has not changed, but as I did the Biggs' Arsenal for Tiburon Prime, the Tiburon Prime works very well with Banshee. Especially if you're going for a sonar build. Because the fact that Banshee's passive... Ooh. Yeah, the fact that Banshee's passive makes the weapon silent, using sonar, and then aiming for the weak spots, means you're going to do increased damage. Sorry, excuse me. Yeah. Sorry about that. So, as you can see, using sonar, you can go to semi, which I believe has the highest critical chance of damage of the free fire modes. We can do sonar, and yes, you can stack sonar. So let's see if we can stack it. Again, I'm using Slash and Viral on this, because I am using the Hunter's Munition build. But, if you are using corrosive, you will tear through these guys a lot faster. Now the orange crits are byproduct of microvac. Which is honestly why I like using microvac. Not only do I get increased items, but that period where I can guarantee crit is just huge. Hey, no stragglers. Right. So, next build. Don't worry, I won't be going through all the builds. Right. Vault. Now again, the only thing that's really changed about Vault is the weapons I paired them up with. As you can see, we had the Battle Core. But another good primary weapon you can use with Vault is the Anthrax. Just because it being a beam weapon, it's going to get the damage bonus from... Not damage bonus. it being a crit beam weapon, is going to get the critical damage bonus from Volt Shield. Which makes for a good synergy, in a way. Right. We're going to do the right side on with the Battle Core, and the left side with the Prisma Obex. As you can see, Battle Core and Volt Shield, a very formidable combo. Right. Let's take out this guy. No, stop with this stealth takedown. Stop, stealth taking down. Okay. Well, you get pretty much the gist of it. Yeah. Yeah, I still need to form with the Anthrax, but that's going to be a pretty powerful weapon for Volt. Next, we have Ash. Now, Ash was the second Umbral frame I did. And if you remember that, thank you for watching that. And you'll notice I wasn't very good with Ash. I still am not. But we had him paired up with Dread, which performed okay. But the rate of fire on the Dread was just too slow. Obviously, when we Garuda released on PlayStation 4, she came with the Nagataka, which is a very, very deadly weapon in Ash's hands. Just because Ash can do this. Yeah. I can strip their armor, and it's pretty much a one-shot if I aim for the head. And because of Ash's passive that lets the bleed procs last longer and do more damage, as you can see, I can just bleed these targets dry, even with the single shot. Absolutely disgusting. You know what? Let's just do that again. So, Seeking Shuriken, strip all their armor, aim for the head. See, even the ones that have armor left, they still die very quickly. Look at that. 3,305 on a bleed. Absolutely disgusting. And the build for the Nagataka is as follows. We have Serration, Split Chamber, Shred, Point Strike, Vital Sense, Fang Fusillade. If you don't have Fang Fusillade, Sawtooth Clip will also work. Malignant Force and Rhyme Rounds. And I am so glad I got round to getting this weapon. It just makes Ash that bit more fluid to play. Trust me, it's insane. Right, who else got an upgrade? Frost. In his Umbral build, we were using the fullness. As you can see, I now have the Cyber. Is it better than the fullness? I don't know. Personally, I like to think it's half and half. The side bear in itself is a pretty powerful weapon, but the bonus has the benefit of crit slashes when paired with blood rush and drifting contact. But as you can see, Riven disposition of 5 out of 5 means that any Rivens you get for the side bear is going to absolutely wreck face. Also, paired up with a Galaxion, Frost has armor stripping now, which means he's going to tear through these heavy gunners. When I was testing this out the other day, just watch their hut. There we are. We took out 2 in under a clip. Going, and dead. The Galaxion, very effective against level 120s. But the problem, as you saw there, is it will overstrip the armor. So, I would highly recommend you bring a weapon with heat. I can't melee today, honestly. The side bear that I paired Frost up with, honestly, I kind of paired him up with the side bear just for the memes. For the fact that he's a nice base warframe, and I figured, what's a more fitting weapon than him just swinging around a big ice cube on a stick. Obviously against higher level targets, the Galaxion, as you can see here, performing so well. But as you can see there, once the armor is gone, we lose that damage bonus. Also, if you're going to be running the Galaxion, I would probably recommend you bring Carrier, because as you saw there, we blew through pretty much half of the reserves. Now, Ember. Now, I had a lot to say in Ember's Umbral video, episode, whatever you want to classify it as. In the toll that I feel her rework didn't do her justice. I think she needs a new rework, she needs a new passive, maybe changing up some of her powers. But I have made her weapons a bit more efficient. As you can see, we're no longer using the Javelock. On further testing, I found it was just way too dangerous, especially in higher level gameplay. Let's just aim the Javelock down and shoot yourself. Just for free energy. Especially because Ember has no way of actually healing herself outside of the Lifesteal Furious or Life Strike. So it made it even more dangerous. So I got rid of the Javelock. I went for the Ignis Wraith. Yes, it's cliched that Ember should be using the Ignis Wraith, but I can't deny the fact that it works so well. Not only does it give Ember much needed armor stripping capabilities, but it will also get the bonus from her accelerant power, as well as the signature Silver and Aegis, which will as well get a boost from her accelerant. It's a Silver and Aegis build. As you can see, I did take out Prime Fury, but I did opt in to switch it out for Berserker. So when we do get started in the combos, which doesn't take us that many strikes, we'll ramp up to quite a fast swing speed. That with Final Harbinger means we're gonna get good mobility. Let's just see how we perform with Ember. Yeah, I had a lot to say in Ember's Umbral episode. Essentially, she is powerful. But she really falls off against high level gameplay. Mainly due to the fact that her world on fire, with the rework, now shrinks. If you got a bombard, say where this little pillar is, where my cursor is. Your world on fire, it's going to shrink to about here. So that bombard can still snap you and kill you. And there's nothing you can do about it. Stop doing the finishes. Honestly, I stand by my conviction that she needs a new rework. She just needs an overhaul. I think she just needs to be stripped down, interpret that how you wish, and her powers need to be really looked at. For example, as you can see, we're not building her for damage. If I have a look at Ember now, I don't build her for damage. I build her for kind of control. I don't know, man. Personally, to me, I think she just needs a rework. But more in-depth rework, maybe giving her a bit of survivability. Right, who else got changed? Nova. So, shortly after I did Nova's Umbral episode, I noticed that I was dying quite easy. So, I had to relook at the mods. So I switched out the range mod, which I believe was... yeah, overextended. I took that out and swapped in adaptation. Now, she is a lot more survivable now, thanks to adaptation. And combined with the HEMA, which again, if you can use any weapon in these loadouts, by the way. These are just weapons that I like to pair my warframes up with. So now, every time she uses Null Star, that damage reduction from the Null Star is going to stay on us. As well as we get the added damage reduction from adaptation. Actually, let's just unpause the AI. Let's go invincible for now. Right. As you can see, adaptation very fastly ranking up. And because we have Arcane Grace, we're going to be healing ourselves. And we can always go for headshots with the HEMA. Restore our health. Or, if we just want damage, statical. And of course, by using Molecular Prime, they do take increased damage. No, Snagglepuss. I got you, buddy. But if the HEMA's not your thing, by all means, switch out for any weapon you want. Right, we covered Nova. Rhino. Big Daddy Rhino. Now, Rhino does have... I did have to change his mods around. I can't remember what I switched up. No, I don't think I changed his mods. I changed the twin comic. So, prior to this, the Twin Cormac, as you can see there, sat at 92.7% status chance. And it being a pellet-based shotgun, it wasn't really worth it. Let's just swap these around quickly. There we are. Yeah, it wasn't really worth it. However, thanks to the mod Embedded Catalyzer, every time Rhino casts an ability now, so when we go to buff up the damage, thanks to Raw, we're going to get 90% status chance, which does bring us to a true 100% status chance before multi-shot. For the veterans out there, you know, if you can get 100% status before multi-shot, then every pellet from pellet-based shotgun will inflict a status proc. Thanks to Embedded Catalyzer, we can get that 100% status. As long as we use Raw before we use the Twin Comic. Trust me, it's going to be good. So the Sanctime Magister hasn't been changed. Excuse me. Right. Invincibility. Let's pause the AI for now. Usually I don't like showing things on the simulacrum. However, this just being an update to the Umbral builds, it seems like the best place to actually do it. Right. So, Raw and dead. Right. Rhino Storm, get them up in the air. As you can see, we can shred their armor now. And those slash procs are going quite well. So the Twin Comic, now a deadly weapon in Rhino's hands. I have yet to do the comb, but I should imagine I can get the comb to the same kind of performance as the Twin Comic. Which, if I can, will be absolutely fantastic. Baruch hasn't changed, Garuda hasn't changed. Yeah, that's it. That is all for the Umbral build updates. As you saw at the end of the list, the next episode will be Excalibur Umbra, the Big Daddy himself. But thank you all so much for watching. I know this one was probably a bit on the longer side, but thank you for persevering and watching. And I'll see you guys in the next time. Say bye bye, Saren. Bye bye now.